Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank God it is Friday, TGIF. You guys know what it is, man. We are basically to the weekend, last work day of the week. Welcome to Real Talk with MRK. Hey, grab your coffee because it's coffee in the morning. I got my coffee. Take a sip. Uh, Hopefully it wakes you up. And hey, welcome to my podcast. I, excuse me. My podcast is Mondays through Fridays, 10:30 to about 11:30 ish, and everything where we talk about a different array of topics. We have discussions on things that people don't really want to have discussions on, and I'm giving you my honest and candid opinion and viewpoint on anything and everything that we discuss. We touch on current events. We talk about what's going on in the world, and we just conversate. We have fun. We engage into good conversations and good topics that will enlighten us and enlighten our minds. So without further ado, y'all already know we definitely going to get started. I'm your host, Martez Raphael Kirkland, MRK. All right, this is Real Talk with your boy, MRK Coffee in the morning. And every day we do, it's the morning inspirations. Let's get to it. Do you guys want to be inspired? Do you guys need some inspiration? Since this is Black History Month, all right, each day, all right, that I'm on for my podcast, I'm going to dedicate an inspiration and take an inspirational quote from someone in our Black history that was had a big influence to our culture and to the African American community. So the morning inspiration goes to Marcus Garvey. He says, "If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life." Let me say that again. If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. And that's by Marcus Garvey. Now, what does that mean to me? Right? Meaning it starts with the inner, it starts with self. Your drive, your will, your passion for whatever it is in your life that you will want to accomplish, that you're trying to obtain. It has to start with inner confidence and with yourself, right? I think a lot of times we want support from others, right? And we look for others to feed us and motivate us, right? But it is no good if we don't have the confidence within ourselves. You've already defeated yourself if you lack that. If you lack confidence and the ability to push yourself, to motivate yourself inward, then guess what? You have basically stopped yourself from being able to pursue those goals, those dreams, those aspirations that you have, right? And it's not enough just to think them. You got to have that self inner drive to push towards to them and everything. So when Marcus Garvey said, if you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated, right? Because you know the world that we live in, there's a lot of people that will not support you. There's a lot of people that will not want to see you do good. So therefore, you're already twice defeated, yourself and the world and the individuals around you. So you must build, get, reach, obtain the self-confidence that you need to accomplish all the goals and dreams and aspirations that you hope for. So the more inspiration goes to, hey, from Marcus Garvey, hey, have confidence within yourself. Don't look for confidence within others. All right. So let's go ahead to the morning shout outs, man. How's everybody doing, man? How y'all feel, man? I'm under the weather. I ain't gonna lie. I got body aches. I got a little excuse me. As you can see, I got a little headache. So me and my 6-year-old, man, she had a little sniffles and everything. So we was pretty much, I was doctoring her up last night and everything. Rubbed some Vicks vapor oil, rub on her chest, and gave her a little medicine. And I took some Alka-Seltzer cold medicine, and then I drank some tea this morning and everything. So I'm feeling a lot better. Not 100% yet, but I'm feeling a little bit better. But those body aches was getting to me, and the headaches and everything. But let's move on to the today's shout outs. Today's shout outs goes to all the step parents in the world. If you are a step parent and you are a mother or a father to a child that is not biologically yours, I'll shout you out. Through conversations that I had with my brother, one of my youngest brother, actually was last night, and we were just talking and having conversations about what it is to be a parent and the hardship that it comes with, and let alone not just being a parent, but being a parent to a child that is not biologically yours. I believe, because I am a product of that. My biological father did not raise me. I wasn't around my biological father for, probably about 95, 98% of my life. I know of him. I know him, but he did not raise me. He did not teach me how to shoot a basketball. He wasn't at my parents teacher conferences when I needed help, or for them just to come in and talk to the teacher to see how said I can be able to get back on track in school. He wasn't there for when I had as far as setbacks in my life. It was my dad. My dad, technically terms, is he was my stepdad, but he is my dad. We don't say step in my family. And I'm gonna be honest, when I was talking to my brother, and he said that he was thinking about that because he is a product of that. Be honest, both of my brothers, I got a middle brother and my younger brother. They are both considered stepfathers, right? One of them has one child or a young adult that is his stepdaughter, and then my other brother has three daughters that is considered his stepdaughter. And I'm gonna say within my family, my mom, my father, my brothers. I also used to be a stepfather. Because when me and my ex-wife we married, she had two sons, and I had my three children. And then so I definitely understand and know how it is. But I believe it's probably one of the hardest things to do, to raise somebody, another individual that you did not make. And a lot of step parents don't get their flowers. A lot of step parents do not get their flowers, man. Because due to conversations that we were having, when we reflect back on it, the things that you do that my brothers have done, and I'm not just gonna speak one of them, and I have done too, but we just didn't last. Me and my ex, we was raised to, when we marry, we take on, and they have taken on these their children as their own, as their blood. And in the reality, some of them, they probably treat their kids that are not their blood better than some people treat their own blood kids, or biological kids, as you want to say. But I've seen the things that they have done. They've been there just like if a regular father would be, or rather a regular parent. I felt like they have gone above and beyond, their obligation, their duties, because they have fathered in a way of love. They have fathered in a way of not, I guess, thinking like, well, you're not my child, and I married your mother, so I'm going to limit the things that I do for you. Because in some relationships, in some marriages, it is like that, right? The stepchildren are treated differently, and that's not the case. From what I've seen from my brothers, man, and just speaking to him and all the things that he has done for her. I remember he was telling me, man, he said that before him and his my sister-in-law got married, he was treating her daughter like his own. And that's commendable. And then there's mothers out there to do the same thing. Unfortunately, I had two situations where I didn't believe that happened. I didn't believe the women in my life, my ex-wives, did that. And I'm gonna be honest, and now that I'm giving a shout out to all the step parents that take care of their stepchildren, they love them like they're their own. They don't separate, that they are not their biological children, and that is very, very, very commendable. Because, like I said, I'm a product of that. My father, man, he came in my life at the age of, I believe, 2, and all I know is him, meaning as my dad and as my father. Because understand this, and I want to, even if this resonates with those that are not doing what they should do for their children, father or mother, is not enough just to have them or make them. That does not warrant you to have, I would say this, just because you have made them or had them does not give you the right to be able to just say, I'm your mother, I'm your father, allow me to have this I guess control of your life or be a part of your life just because of what I guess I did, because that's just the first part of it. Anybody can make a child, anybody can have a child. Well, I can say anybody, but there's a lot of ladies and women that have children, right? But it doesn't stop there. And I've always felt that just because you had me, and I mean, I'm a kid. I'm 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. I mean, okay, you had me. What else have you done for me? So just because you made me and you had sex with my mother, and therefore I should give you the ultimate pathway to my life when you haven't even done anything for me, meaning you haven't been there for my most important times of my life. You haven't been there when I had some of my biggest setbacks in my life. So step parents, man, they need to get their flowers. They should get their flowers. And this shout out goes to all of them. If you are out there doing what you or doing things for your stepchildren and you treat them like they're your own, your flowers, I give you all your flowers in the world. Like I said, I got probably one of, like, my dad, man, he has treated me as if I was his own blood, flesh and blood, which is remarkable in a sense, which is remarkable. So in my mind, he can't do any wrong. That their parents, just like your parents, you get on your nerves. But in my eyes, he cannot do any wrong. He took me in, married my mother, and raised me as his. So when he speak of me as I'm his oldest child, which is commendable, which it touches I've always recognized that early on in my life, because a lot of people don't do that. There's a lot of people that do not do that and everything. So it's definitely a task to be a step parent, to come into a child's life and love them as your own, take care of them as your own, because there's times, because you don't know how that child is going to grow up to think of you. Hopefully they think of you in high regard based off the things that you do. But in some instances, it may not be that way. They may go the other way. They may not appreciate the things that you have done for them, which is kind of, I would say that would be hard for me. Because like I said, for a small instance, I was a stepfather with two boys. And I remember telling their mother when I married her, I was like, I'm going to treat them like they're mine, point blank. There's no innocent, there's no other way. That's all I know. So it was kind of hard once we divorced. Now the situation when we divorced was because of my oldest daughter. My ex-wife did something that I thought was unforgivable, but and she didn't take in regard of my daughter. She didn't treat my daughter like if my daughter was actually hers, which was very, very heartbreaking to me. Very hard. And at that point in time, and I'll tell you guys more about it later on. At that point in time, I realized that honestly, man, I couldn't be married to her. I can't trust her around my kids to make decisions as if she was making a decision for her own child. And she made a decision that was opposite of that. So shout outs to all the step parents in the world. Keep doing what you do. You appreciate it. We give you your flowers on this Friday. And hey, don't stop. Don't let nobody deter you from who you are, where your heart is. Even if you hit the roadblocks, you hit some tough times, continue on. Love those children. All right, it'll definitely pay off in the long run. Let's keep it moving, y'all. All right. We got this part right here on Fridays. What we're going to do is relationship advice. I'm going to give you guys some relationship tips, advice, and everything. And you're going to say, like, why are you giving me any type of relationship advice? I've been married 3 times. Some people would look at that as a bad thing. I don't. Because I was on my quest to find love and find a woman that I could be with for the rest of my life and build a family with. And I was searching. Now, through those trials and errors and those situations, I have learned, then to be honest, man, I haven't been married. All 3 of them doesn't even amount to 10 years. So, and I'm 45. So in reality, I really feel like I haven't really got to taste what the marriage life really, really is all about. So the next time I do it, to me, it's going to be kind of new. I know the beginning stages of it. I know how it looks when you are, as a man, living together with a woman and being, having a family for a brief period of time. But I kept searching for love. I kept searching for a family, meaning bringing a wife, a woman in and making a family with my children. And, that's all I wanted. So it wasn't nothing of infidelity or anything like that, because when I'm married, I'm faithful. Because I believe in the covenant that God has given you, the 2 individuals. But let's go ahead and get the relationship advice. 10 ways to keep a relationship going strong. 10 ways to keep a relationship going strong. You may ask, because you may have some issues within your relationship. You may be spinning your head like, what can I do to keep my relationship going? Right. Number 1, 10 ways to keep your relationship going. Yes, Miss Lit, how you doing? Be fully present. Be fully present in the relationship, right? So see, it talks about, as human nature goes, right? People settle into a life, sometimes they forget what it took to be in a relationship in the first place. They may fall down on the job of tending to a relationship and to their partner. So I'm going to give you 10 ways to help you keep your relationship healthy and fulfilling. Number 1, be fully present. Life has so many parts to it, right? So many pieces of the puzzle to fit together. There are so many distractions vying for attention. Oftentimes, we get so caught up in the nitty-gritty of daily life that we forget to be present, especially to the one that we love. And sometimes there are things that happens in our life that needs more of our time and effort, but we still forget about the one we love. But bearing or barring any of these events, right, that needs special attention, they're essential to be fully present to our partner and to be practice presence on an ongoing basis. See, relationship and marriage is hard, right? Because it wants us to give effort and all our energy to the other person. And naturally, as human beings, we have a selfish part of us. It's not automatic that we are selfless. So we have to make sure when you're in a relationship that you are being aware of that other person and making sure that you are being there and present for them. It is hard. Number 2, you have to regularly connect with each other. That's an ongoing thing within the relationship. First of all, take the time every day to talk to each other beyond the routine necessities, right? Check in with each other during the day. It doesn't take much time or effort or your part to ask someone how they're doing, how the day is going. People say they don't have time. Make time. See, we as people, we prioritize what? Things that are important to us. So when people say I don't have time, you're a lie. Because you're gonna make time for what you want to make time for. So if you value that relationship, you are going to make time for that other person. Number 3, have openly communication. It's like this is very big, right? When things are going well and we agree, life and love are great. But there are times when we don't agree and when certain topics arise where you and your partner are far apart, inevitably this will happen at some point. So it's important to be prepared for how to deal with it. See, conflict is going to happen. You ever heard of conflict resolution? A lot of people that get in relationships, they believe that you can't argue, you're not supposed to disagree, you're not supposed to have difference of opinion, but it's not that you're not supposed to. You will. You're going to, because you're two different individuals. So it's how you communicate through those times, right? See, it's often we are driven by the reaction to the situation and emotional responses that comes up immediately. We get defensive, protective of our own point of view. Side of the mouth, usually what we don't mean. Knowing each other well means finding a way to talk to each other. You can't get to know each other if you don't talk to one another. Even in disagreement, you're getting to know each other because you're getting to finding out what each other don't and do like, what each other preferences are to whatever it is. So continue to communicate. And what is it? Difference of opinion doesn't mean the relationship is over. Difference of opinion doesn't mean relationships are over. It just means that person has a different viewpoint. All right. Number 4, don't get lazy. Content. Over the course of the relationship, we get comfortable, right? We get contentful, maybe too comfortable and complacent. We may stop taking care of ourselves the way we used to. We may stop going the extra mile to please our partner. Sometimes people really get sloppy, unhealthy, and back to the bad habits that you had probably before you met them. If this happens, remember back to when you first got together. See, when we first get together, right, and they meet the pretender, the imposter that I call, when we first get together, we want to be our best. We want to look our best. Our haircut is always clean. Their hair is always nice, combed, braided, whatever. They in their best dress. Their breath is smelling all good. They got their makeup all. I don't want to see you like that all the time. I need to know who you are really. Communication is the key to relationship. It is mislit. Y'all tap that screen and make sure you guys share this out. Good morning, friend. Good morning to you. See, don't get lazy and stop. If you was working out before and you was going to the gym and then you stopped because, I got somebody now. To be honest, man, you're wrong. That person, that man or woman is not wrong for saying, hey, babe, what's going on with you? You seem differently. Hey, babe, you gained a little weight because you forget that man or woman was attracted to who you look like when they first met you, what you look like when they first met you. But see, a lot of men and women like, well, you should be happy with what you got. No, that's not what I pursued. And I know life takes its course. And I'm not talking about women that get pregnant. I'm talking about women and men that just get lazy and stop doing the things that got them their mate, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their husband, their wife. You can't be lazy. Number 5, keep your relationship fresh. You got to keep it fresh, right? Keep your relationship fresh. There may be a lot of you and your partner have in common, right? But adding something new to the mix keeps you discovering new things together. Having something new to look forward to helps you enjoy your time together even more. Adding new interests helps to broaden your horizon as a couple and adds new dimensions to the relationship. Be willing to explore new things. Don't get so caught up in doing the same things and complacent and content and comfortable with how things. Okay, if you guys got a tradition where you go out to this restaurant or you do this on Christmas, hey, change it up every now and then. There's a lot of excitement with something that is new, especially when you guys can what? Experience it together. Especially when you can experience it together, something new. Ms. Litt said, I am all natural. I do makeup occasionally. That's what I'm talking about. All natural. All right. Number 6, connect physically. Connect physically. I'm going to say it again. Connect physically. I don't mean it's all about sex. It's not just about sex. Obviously, being intimate is an essential part of healthy relationships, right? Connecting physically is also about excuse me, showing affection, embracing, holding hands, touching, kissing, looking into each other's eyes. Hormones of attachment are released when we connect physically. These help to keep love alive and keep us bonded together forever, forever, ever. See, physicalness it doesn't mean just sex. Physicalness can mean a shoulder rub, a rubbing of the arm, of holding hands. Those subtle things, right? Those subtle physical touches, right, can stimulate the relationship even further. The connectivity, right? But we all forget about that. I know there's some men that they not very romantic and all that good stuff and everything. But man, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm gonna talk to you right here. I'm gonna look y'all in the faces, man. If you guys want your relationships, all right, to move in a better direction, in a better situation, hey, connect physically. You don't always have to lay down and hold each other and cuddle, and it ends in sex. That's the truth of the matter. There's something about just laying together and holding one another. And to be honest, you might find out that you guys may even grow even closer in doing so. Whether it's on the couch, whether it's you guys laying down at night going to sleep, whether you guys in the movie theater and the subtleness of touching her or his hand and rubbing the back. Those things are very, very, very important. So connect physically, right? One more. I think 7. Number 7, appreciate each other's perspective. See, when you was attracted to this person that you are now in a relationship with, that you may have now married, right? What you have told them that you love them, all the things that come with them, meaning their mind, meaning their outlook on life, their perspectives. You're not going to have this. And you know what was it? The experiment, or not an experiment, like, so I think in school I did it. And there's like what is it? Like a collage or a picture, and they tell you that, hey, look at that picture and tell me what you see. What I'm doing is I'm giving you my viewpoint and my perspective on what it is that I see in front of me. I may say something different. The person behind me may come right behind me and say something totally different, because we have 2 different viewpoints and our perspectives are going to be different. So you have to appreciate each other's perspective on things, on life. Because if you value and respect and love the person, guess what? You will listen to them. See, it's too often when there's opposing views and differences of opinions, it is all too easy to want to push your position so that you're the you're the one that's right. But rather than needing to be right and have your partner bow down or to your point of view, wouldn't it be, excuse me, wouldn't it be better for each of you to have your own position while accepting that your partner thinks a different way? Sometimes expressing these different perspectives gives you another avenue to explore. So be open-minded. Be open-minded to that person, right? It don't mean that you got to either take on their perspective and implement it and do it. Just have an open ear and listen and sit back and probably like reflect on their perspective. I guarantee you that maybe not at that specific point in time, what's going to happen is you're going to look back and say, you know what? I see what they're talking about. I'm telling you, man. Hey, respect each other's and appreciate each other's perspective. That's all I'm saying. Number 8, Argue constructively. What I talked about. You're not going to agree on everything. And there's going to be times where there's going to be conflict. There's going to be times where it may be heated discussions, but those heated discussions can be very constructively. You're just heated means you're just passionate about whatever it is that you guys are arguing. See, argue don't mean destructive or toxic. It just means that I am arguing my point. See, this could be a corollary to openly communicate and appreciate each other's perspective. Know when you have reached a civil limit of discussion. For example, say you discuss a hot topic over and over again, and each time it escalates at a boiling point. Take a break, cool down before you proceed. Be specific about how you feel. Try not to project your feelings onto your partner. State your position. Clearly stay away from derogatory and insulting statements. No blaming or shaming. Don't drag the past into the discussion. Be respectful and keep an open mind. Be respectful and keep an open mind when you guys are arguing. Try to be constructive in the arguments. Don't get too personal. Not to the person that you consider that you love, not to the person that you care about. Come on, man. Real talk. Number 9, have realistic expectations. I know we all heard this before. You got to have realistic expectations. And if you don't have realistic expectations, guess what? You're going to be disappointed every time. Every time. Always recognize what is great about your relationship. What keeps it together while also recognizing that even the best relationship may not be the be all and end all. In other words, you may not get some things you want in even the best relationship. Your relationship may have limitations. That's fine. As long as you are and your partner are on the same page about the most important aspect of your life together, right? A lot of times people fail us because our expectations are not realistic. I'm gonna say that sometimes people fail us because our expectations of them are not realistic. It's not their fault. They are who they are and what they are and who they're going to be. And if they decide to change and do whatever it is that you expect them to do, they will make that decision for themselves and do it. So for us, we got to have realistic expectations. Realistic expectations. All right. And number 10, be true to yourself. If you're in a relationship and you're not able to be true to yourself, then that may not be the relationship that you need to be in. Because if the relationship is changing to you to the point where you are a different person, either you talk to that person so things can change, or you may have to get out that relationship because it's going to change you probably for the worse. You're going to be resentful and hateful and have envious and jealousy. Be true to yourself, even in the closet relationships. It's essential to take care of your own needs. Don't assume that your partner knows what you want and need because they are supposed to know you so well. Be attentive to who you are as a separate, unique person in a relationship. I'm gonna say this, and I want you guys to listen to it. It is your fault if you change and become somebody that you don't want to become. It goes back to having self-confidence and being able to love yourself, take care of yourself, because nobody's going to take care and love yourself more than you. It is not your mate, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriends. It is not their responsibility. It is not their responsibility. You try to put so much on the other person because your expectations are not realistic. So therefore they fail you and now you're mad at them. Then you have forgot to be true to yourself. You forgot to take care of yourself. It is not their responsibility to take care of you. You have to have that love, that self-love for self. Because a lot of times when you take care of yourself and you love yourself, right, it stimulates the other person, right? They see that. But if you allow that person to take you away from who you actually are, it is your fault. It's not theirs. It is your fault. I'm just talking. I'm just being honest. All right. So there we go. Let's keep a relationship going strong. Let's keep it going to the hot topic. Let me go ahead and take a sip of coffee right quick. I tell you, man, hey, I ain't gonna lie. Oh man, this bug, man. I was sick about a couple of weeks ago, and I had a lot of mucus in my chest. Finally got it out, but now, man, this head cold, these body aches, man. But I'm here for y'all. I'm here. I'm gonna get through this. Definitely gonna get through this, man. Because it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I know you guys got a lot planned this weekend. The Super Bowl. What y'all doing for the Super Bowl? I haven't decided if I'm just gonna stay home or go to a Super Bowl party. I haven't decided. I'm not sure. I don't know. I might just want to be in the comforts of my own home. The hot topic of today. It is the common double standards in a relationship and how to deal with them. We all know on both sides of the genders, the gender perspectives, the man and the woman. Everybody has their own gripes and concerns about the double standards, and I want to talk about that. So we say the common double standards in relationship and how to deal with them. Right. First of all, I would say this: you probably need to hold on, I got something. Hold on. Hold on. All right. I'm sorry. 1 minute. Just hold on right quick, y'all. Let me bring this back up. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. You know, sometimes, hey, all right, it's common double standard, right? So it has to be compromised. Like, so compromise, right? The compromises you make as a couple will depend on who you are and what double standards you are dealing with. Maybe your partner works all day and you don't. You don't. So perhaps he or she can be assigned the lighter household chores in the end. It's all about the balance. It's all about the respect. It's all about understanding each other's role, right? So therefore, I guess it won't be a double standard. But we all know, man, there's so many different double standards in different areas of a relationship to where it may seem unfair to the other. As like, I can't believe, saying that they actually want me to do this, or they don't understand my side. Guess, hey, we are all different, men and women. So I'm gonna read some stuff right quick, so you guys get y'all to stimulate your mind. So as soon as I bring it up, hold on, here we go. Here we go. All right, there we go. So the common double standards in a relationship, right? Is it true that life is not fair? That's true. And unfortunately, that also includes relationships. So, however, doesn't mean relationships should be unfair when it comes to things you can say or do, but your partner can't or is not expected to, right? Vice versa. If indeed this happens, then there might be a problem with double standards in the relationship. I believe so. I think it's a double standard across the board in the society that we live in. I really believe that. It should work both ways, right? Have y'all ever heard of the 80-20 rule? Regardless of who is doing what at any given time in a relationship, for most relationships, there's like someone doing like 80% and someone is giving 20% to whatever it is, right? And at times within the relationship, I talked about this before, especially if you're in a long-lasting relationship, you're in a marriage that has been, I don't know, 20, 30 years, there's gonna come a time in that marriage that is gonna feel like you are giving 80% and the other person is giving 20. Then that time is gonna pass and then it's gonna be flipped. Then it's gonna be a time where they're going to feel like they're giving 80% and you are giving 20, because life takes its course. Whether you're dealing with death and you're mourning and you become depressed, then the other person has to pick up the slack, and then it reverses because now that other person is dealing with the same thing. Well, then it reverses. Say one person loses their job. So throughout the course of the relationship, it's going to feel that way for that particular time. It's going to feel that way for the particular time. But understand this: if you are married, it says through worse or better, for rich and for poor, in sickness and in health. It didn't say, well, I'm giving 80 now, and I feel like she or he is giving 20. So therefore, this is not good for me. And I want to be out because this is not what I signed up for. You did sign up for it because you said through for better, for worse. And it's on you, like I said, it's on you to stay true to who you are and love yourself and find ways to make it work. Communicate if you guys, two people, truly love each other. To me, I'm like this. If two people are still willing to work together, be together, and love each other, then it can work. You can find common ground. So things are not a double standard. See what I'm saying? So double standards, right? By taking initiative. It's like some people in the relationship don't take initiative. So, hey, you know who you married, you know who you got with, you know what I'm saying? So it's your fault. I'm gonna be honest. Men are more likely to be expected to initiate things. This is what it says. And I know we live in a time where there's women out here that is holding it down for themselves and they're single, but we're talking about in a relationship. Listen to what it says. Men are more likely to be expected. Don't mean that they have been doing it, but they are expected to initiate things. That's what a lot of women want. I know a lot of women, and I've dated, been married, they expect me to do these things, to take the initiative, right? From making the first move to choosing a restaurant on a date night, it's just expected. This responsibility can, however, also fall exclusively on the woman, depending on the situation. Depending on the couple, neither is healthy. So again, remember I talk about the expectations. We kill ourselves because we expect our husband, our wife, our girlfriend, our boyfriend to do these things. So you're killing yourself by putting these expectations on the other person, especially if they are not talked about and discussed. So don't get mad at that person because of your unrealistic expectations of them. If it ain't discussed, if it ain't talked about, if it ain't set in stone, don't operate in this circle of unknown. He's supposed to do this because he's the man. Because that's what first of all, in your own circle of your relationship and your marriage, you have to set what you guys want for your relationship. Not have it fixated in your head to what a man or what a woman should do and how they should do it. And you can't go off of honestly what your parents did or what you saw, or you definitely can't go off of what your friends are telling you, your home girl, because their relationship is their relationship. Their marriage is for them. That works for them. Or you can't go off the home girl. They don't have nobody and they want you to be miserable just like them. So therefore, you take on how they feel and what they think, and then you try to push it on into your marriage or into your relationship, and now you don't have a marriage, and you find yourself doing things that you shouldn't have been doing. You find yourself with a wonder in the eye because now you start to look for the things that maybe they're not doing, instead of having those talks and communicating effectively and being able to solve those issues. See, let me keep on going. See, taking the initiative is by encouraging your partner to take the initiative, regardless of the gender. That's the answer. People are different, and expectations may make you feel like you do all the work. See what I'm saying? You put expectations on someone, but truthfully, it is you that is killing, in a way, can kill the relationship because your mind and what you expect from them. How about talk to them? Maybe, honestly, maybe what you expect out of them that is something that they don't feel comfortable doing or they don't want to do. So remember, when you enter into a relationship with a person, you have to have these type of conversations. You can't just go and operate in a circle of abyss of an bliss and think that they're going to do these things. See what I'm saying? People are different, and expectations make you feel like you do all the work at all times. When sometimes the other person just needs a bit more incentives to take the lead. So the approach, so even if this is what you expect and this is what you want them to do, how do you get them to do it? It's by the approach. It's all about the approach. It's all about the approach, right? You can't, your expectations, so they fail you at the unrealistic expectations that you have for them, and now you're upset, you're mad, and you're arguing. You're like, you're supposed to know. You're supposed to know. You didn't do this. And they like, so the love languages is you're not reading their love language. They're not understanding you. You're not communicating effectively. So understand this. It's not just their fault. It is your fault too, because you didn't communicate effectively. Double standards within for friends, right? The choice of friends and how much time you spent with them can cause friction in relationship. Maybe your partner disapproves of some of your friends and doesn't like you to interact with them, right? And vice versa. Or perhaps he or she doesn't like you to hang out with. What are you going to do? Is there a double standard with men with their friends and women with their friends? Or is it a double standard that women, hey, I'm gonna bring this up. Your friends for men, that friend for that man is a woman. They were childhood friends, right? And now you come into the picture and you don't want them to hang out with them. How do you solve that? I mean, what do you do? You talk about it and say, that's really my friend, and my friends are your friends and everything. And then that person says, I don't feel comfortable with them, you guys being friends. That's something to think about. So is there a double is there a double standard? Chores. We talk about the double standard in household chores, right? I'm gonna give you my perspective. Household chores, I believe it should be on both of the two adults that live in that house. Based off of a work schedule, of course, again, this is when the 80-20 rule comes in. What if you have someone that they work 14, 16 hours a day? Are you expecting them to come in and clean the house, mop the floors, wash the dishes? Are you expecting them to come in and also cook when they work 16 hours? There's people that do this. There's men that expect a woman that's been out there working to come in and cook a meal. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong. Remember, I said 16 hours. So if you out there, you go into work for 4 or 5 hours, whatever, come on now. Come on now. But if you are the individual that's at home, I believe the realistic expectation is if you're home, and let me give you a scenario. The kids are grown. They're not, or the kids are to the point where they're at school and you're home all day. I believe the house should be tightened up. I believe that the dishes should be cleaned. I believe that there should be some type of food on the stove if it's me or you out working. And notice I didn't break it down into it should be the man or it should be the woman. See, it talks about this is a very common one among those who live under the same roof. First, identify why you feel things are not equal. Are you doing all the chores? Then it matters of sitting down and calmly talking about it. Perhaps you have different work schedules. I just talked about that. And there are some chores you enjoy more than others. all these elements can be considered for a more balanced home. You have to talk about that. Split it up into the things that maybe you like. I like vacuuming. I like mopping the floor. Well, I don't like doing it. I'll wash the dishes or things of that nature. Find out what each other likes. You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be like this: if you're two grown people, you got kids, the house got to be clean. You can't expect a woman to be cleaning it all the time. Women, you can't expect that if you are home majority of the time, or you're the first one that gets home, that when that man comes home, coming home for dinner, there's nothing prepared. That's crazy. You know, when I was married, my first wife, she cooked because she didn't, I was young. We were young, 20, 21, 22 years old. And pretty much she would cook. She would learn it. She was young. But then it got to a point as we got older. I remember working long nights because I was in the Army, long days. Come home, man, I wouldn't have nothing in the microwave. And for whoever, whether it's the man or woman, that's so heart-wrenching. I felt disrespected. I felt like, what I was doing, me working and providing for the family, it wasn't appreciated. It wasn't appreciated. And that's all I wanted. She'll give me a grilled cheese sandwich and I'll be happy. Now, my second wife, we were both in the Army, and we basically was like whoever was home first would either get something to eat. We'll call each other or text each other like, hey, what you want to eat? I'll go pick up something, or whoever was home would start dinner. But if I came home while she was starting dinner, I would lend my hand. I would help. So we would do it together. When we cleaned, Saturdays came when we were off and we wasn't working, before we got our day started, unless we had something going on. I took care of the yard, and she was okay with cleaning the inside. And I still helped out, throughout the week and stuff like that. But that was something that we did. And you have to be committed and consistent to that. Now, if she would have been like, hey, I like doing the yard, and it's times when she actually came out there and cleaned up the flower bed and all that good stuff, or helped me rake and everything. We did things. See, that's a partnership. It ain't like you're the man. And I'm gonna be honest, man. The double standard is a lot of women are like that. Or you're looking at your friend or your family member's relationship. It's like, see, such and such does this for his wife. Well, that's their relationship. You guys got to establish the expectations within your relationships, the roles within your relationship. It's your relationship. There's no set rule or set way, right? Because especially in this time of day, in this day and age, that it's not the traditional sense. We don't do things in the traditional sense. Is there a double standard about when you go out, men or women? Some people just love to go out and party, right? But others not so much. So you get together, and now say you met, we're going out. Say you met in a club. Say you met at a party. But now that one person still wants to go out because that's what they like to do. And you like, no, I'm good. I got who I want to be with. I don't think you need to go out. So now you're stopping them from doing things that they per se like to do. How do you create a balance for that? This is what I did with my last 2 wives. Like they had like girl nights out like once a month. I remember. I was okay with it because I needed a break from you anyway. And they was like, hey, me and the girls, we going out on this date and everything. It's such and such birth. All right, cool, do your thing. But it can't be, you had to find a balance in it. So whether it's women or men, you can't be going out every weekend and expect not to have any issues, right? You guys got to talk about that. Set boundaries on that. Going out. Discuss that. Now we're going to talk about the finances. Is there a double standard with the finances? Man, the things that I hear, man, I think it's a double standard, like in a full circle. In the time we live in, I see men not working and women holding it down. And I got a little old-fashionedness in me. I cannot be at home while my woman, well, put it like this, because I can be at home. I'm retired for the Army and everything, and 100% disabled. So, first of all, if you're not bringing anything in, and you expect one person or the other person, the man or the woman, just to do, hold everything down as far as financially, you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think we're past the 50s, the 40s, the old fashioned where the man just go out and work. This is a different time because we are in a generation where there are a lot of women that are very career minded women. They have, good, decent paying jobs. And the notion that man, you hear a lot of women, man, they want a man that just to take care of them, even when they are financially able and stable. So when there's two people that have great paying jobs or decent paying jobs, I believe the financial part should be pretty much equally distributed. Meaning, when I say equally distributed, meaning not it don't have to be dollar for dollar. It could be like you take care of the groceries, okay? I'm gonna hold down the car payments, the car insurance, maybe the mortgage. And if you really think about it, mortgage, car payments, insurance, that's you calculate that depending on how much car payments and stuff is. It's a lot. And you got the utility bills or something like that. You can't, and I've heard and I've seen people do this. Well, I pay for the house and I pay for the mortgage. No, you can't do that. Because how many in the old days, how many women stayed home and took care of the kids? And the man just was the more he bared the finances. He bared all the financial load. Right. But then when you say something happens later on when they divorce, what happens? That woman is still have equal right, to the finances, and because that man, quote unquote, had established a life for them, but she didn't contribute, financially. She stayed at home and she maintained the house and she tended to the kids. So a lot of times when we're looking at, say, going 50-50 or doing your share, you can't go tit for tat. That's a roommate. It's not a marriage. It's not a relationship. You have to look at, even though the woman is home and is not contributing financially, she's doing something that's so of value that it takes a lot, tending to the kids and keeping the home a home and keeping it clean and all that good stuff. So it doesn't diminish her role and where she is in the relationship. And then vice versa. What if you could say to man, well, he doesn't take care of the kids and he's not around the kids. Well, he's out there working, and you will see it when they go for custody. Well, I'm the one that's the nurturer and around the kids. Well, the man in the relationship, the man went out, he had to work and he had to provide and for his kids and for you and stuff like that. It doesn't diminish him as a father because that's what you got and that's what you wanted. See, I believe based off the incomes of the two individuals that, of course, if the woman is more of the breadwinner, because you see that now these days, and the man, his income doesn't compare to hers, then, she's going to have to, bear the burden. She's going to have to because you guys got to live, right? You can't be like, your pay, with your job, even though it pays less than mine, I want you to take care of this. How about allow you could build to get there? Encourage that man to get out and get a better job that's higher paid. If you want your man to be able to take on more of the financial burden. But if you're not, if you guys are pretty much equal, then you guys going to have to kind of share the rent or share the mortgage, share the car payments and stuff. You're going to have to figure it out together. There shouldn't be no, well, you just do this and I do this, and if you don't do this, you're less of a man or you're less of a woman or whatever. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. So say you aren't allowed to spend money on a new pair of shoes, right? But your partner goes for lunch with friends every weekend. So that's something that you got to talk about openly and honestly about, right? About the balance. You both should be able to spend money on what you want if the funds are there, but not at expense of your budget as a couple. See, that's where the discipline comes in, the communication comes in, and everything. So that because what y'all are partners. You guys are partners to one another. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and move it on. But hey, is there a double standard? Yeah, I believe so. There's a double standard in so many different ways. It's not only just for the woman, the man, but there's a double standard on women. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. Hot topic of, I'm sorry, Black History fact. There's Black History Month. Forgot about that. Man, Black History fact. Lonnie Johnson spent his childhood tinkering with objects, including his sister's dial. After earning a scholarship to attend Tuskegee University, he found a job at the NASA. Oof, hold on. Yeah, so Lonnie Johnson, he is the individual that created the water. If you guys don't know, he created the water gun, which is pretty cool in my mind. Um, for him to be able to create that, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. So y'all give it out to Lonnie Johnson. That is a historical Black history fact. Um, hey, you guys know how? Hey, I remember playing with water guns at home. I didn't know that. I didn't know a black man created the water gun. See, every time we dig into Black history facts and information, I learn something new every single day. All right, so give it up to Lonnie Johnson. All right, creating the water gun. All right, here we are. Question of the day. Y'all ready for this? It kind of ties into what we was talking about with the hot topic, right? Question of the day. Question, men and women. Is there a such thing as 50-50 in a relationship? If so, does it pertain to every aspect of the relationship or just finance? So I'm gonna give you my answer. I'm gonna give you what I think. First of all, in a relationship, it is 100. If you're giving 50 into the relationship, then your relationship most likely is going to fail. If you ain't all in 100 at any given time of the relationship, whether you've been in it for 1 year, 5 years, 10, 15, 30, 40 years, right? You have to be able to commit to give 100% to the person that you have dedicated your life to or dedicated your love to. Like it can't be 50-50 in that regard. And if it is, you don't need to be in a relationship. And you definitely don't need to be married. You gotta do better. It gotta be better. All right. So is there a such thing as 50-50? Is there a such thing? I believe there are expectations and things that are set in a relationship by the two people that are a part of that relationship. Because again, the 80-20 rule, there are going to be times where you're going to be feeling like you're giving so much to that relationship, and you're going to be feeling that the other person will not. There's if you're looking for a 50-50 relationship, don't be in a relationship. If you're looking for like, hey, I paid this and it cost $5, so can you get this that costs? I hate to hear when couples talk about that, and I hate to hear couples when they talk about money and finances, and they talk about it as if they're separate. So if you're married, this is funny, man. Like they be like, "Well, I gave you and I paid $1,000 to this, and and then you said you was gonna give me my money back, and you only gave me 300. What? I paid that bill." So if you guys are living in that way, first of all, you're not living as a married couple. You're not living as what's hers is mine, and what's mine is your, all that good stuff. You're living as two separate individuals that need to be single. You need to be single because when you're in a relationship, and if you're not married, you're working up to what to be married, right? Hopefully, and it is a partnership. It is a partnership. So understand this: even in business partnerships, all business partnerships are not equal in percentage. All business partnership is not equal. When they draw up the contract, you got someone giving 30, you make 30% off of this, but we are partners. So the truth of the matter, there's a low percentage of any type of partnership that is a 50-50 partnership, right? So if you're looking for 50-50, and I guess you can consider that a perfect situation, then you don't be in a relationship, don't be in a marriage, because it could never be that way. Because how can it be unless you go find someone that both of you guys get paid the same exact amount of your income, both of you guys are in the same place within your life, financially, stability, and all that good stuff, or children wise, it would never be 50-50. Right. So the thing that comes to mind in my mind and how it can work is I give 100% of everything that I got to the relationship, and you give your 100% of everything that you got to the relationship. Even if my 100% doesn't amount to the monetary, say, financially place. I might give $50 and you can give 75. That's so my 50 may be my 100. My $50 may be all I could possibly give. And your 75 is all that you could possibly give. And then when we combine it and everything, it makes for a partnership and the deal, how you, I guess, pay for things or whatever. But like say, I don't know, man. I hate that. I actually don't like when people try to look to make it 50-50. It doesn't work. And then what it is, they go tick for tat like little kids. Well, I gave him, remember, I paid for this and everything. And then you did, guess what? And then as a man, the man that I am, and how I was raised, my father, my grandfather, and I'm not saying that this is how it's supposed to be, because every relationship is different. But my grandfather and my father, they take care of things financially. That's how it is it has been in their relationships, in their marriages with my mother and my grandmother. My mother, she don't pay the like mortgage and all that stuff. My father takes care of that. That's the type of man he is, and it works for them. Because see, my mother's a different type of woman. She ain't nowhere near like these women are now. They're looking for the I don't want to be in a relationship that's 50-50 because or a marriage that's 50-50. Then it doesn't seem like a partnership in a marriage. It doesn't seem like it seems like I'm gonna do my 50, right? And hopefully you can come up with your 50, whatever it is. And if you don't come up with it, then you basically you asked out. That's the talk I hear when I talk to people, when I see it on social media and everything. Well, he's supposed to do this and everything. Well, you got to look at your situation. You got to look at where you guys are at in your relationship, and maybe that's something that you work up to, and getting you guys to where it is that he takes on the bulk of the finance, right? But I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's a partnership if a man is say he's 100% fitting the bill for everything, and then on the other side, right? I come home, you don't cook, you don't clean, you don't take care and tidy the house up. You don't add any other thing that helps me out and supports me. See, this notion that a man is just supposed to take care. I've been through 3 marriages, and I cannot. It's hard for me to think and sit back and say I got to take care of another grown person that is capable of going out there and making their own income and contributing to the household and contributing to the relationship. See, for that type of situation, you better be a great woman, because it was something that I seen on social media where they talked about how a man, the good men get diminished. See, we don't. So there's not a lot of women out there on social media. They don't talk about it, because I know a lot of men. My whole family is filled with great men that take care of their family financially, emotionally, stability, all that good stuff. So I cringe when I start to hear these women out here that they talk about this. That was your situation. I got it. But guess what? I can count 5 men on my fingers real quick. Everybody that I surround myself with, guess what? They're doing it for their family. They're the man, they're the father, they're a husband. They're not perfect. But see, sometimes I think men and women, we want this perfect scenario, this perfect woman, this perfect man, and not understanding that we are already flawed as individuals, right? We're not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. But I don't know, 50-50. I hate it. Then it's not a marriage. It's not a relationship, right? So next part of the question, if so, does it pertain to every aspect of the relationship or just finances? I don't think the 50-50 pertains to any part of the relationship. That's just my viewpoint and my opinion. If a woman came to me and say, hey, let's go 50-50, the relationship is over. Because if, like, when we look back and we sit back on it and say, okay, I am doing this, and it I guess in the when you look at the playing field, if you look at things, and it seems like it is 50-50, I want to say, hey, it is how we are operating in our relationship that works for us. But I definitely want, like, well, you give me $5, I give you $5. Okay, here's $10, or here's $10 for you. That's crazy. That's stupid, man. You might as well not even be in a relationship. Well, I paid. You know how many times I've been in a relationship where when I go out to dinner, I always pay and I don't complain, because I have to. What I do is, maybe they're not in that position to do so, right? I have to look at the other assets that you are adding to the relationship, ladies. Like, if that man is okay with doing that, you just can't take. You're not cooking, you're not cleaning, you're not providing the support that he needs, the the encouragement that he needs. Like, there's other things besides finances or money that can be of the same value, right? That can be of the same value. I don't believe in 50-50 in nothing. Everything is 100. Because when you start to count, I guess, when you start to count the money dollar for dollar, or things that you do in the relationship, that's when your relationship starts to fail. It's already beginning to fail. Because what you're going to do is you're going to build up resentment. And if you have done that, you're wrong. Because like I said, that 80-20 rule, there's going to be a time where you are not going to be able to even go quote unquote 50-50. Maybe you get laid off. Maybe you get sick. So you're gonna look down on that person because their inability, because of the circumstances, to be able to not to pay their end of the bargain or do their half. Life may take its course. You signed up for this. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that wasn't an issue in my marriages, man. Maybe my first one, because I felt like I was working, I would come home, I would clean, I would wash clothes, I would do this for her, and now that to me was unfair. Like, look, I'm working, and I even said I wanted to where she didn't really have to work until our kids were preschool age, pre-K age, and I was okay with it, because I wanted my kids to be home with the mom and all that stuff. That's and everything. And then she got a part-time job, but I still took care of it. So that's what I wanted to do. That's just how I was raised. Now, as I went through marriages and relationships, do I totally believe that? No. I believe a grown woman, right? Especially when it comes with, I hear these talks about how Men should do this, men should do that. What about you? What should you do? What are you bringing to the table? If you want a man to do these things for you, what are you bringing to the table? If you want a man to take care of you financially, 100%, what are you bringing to the table? Don't ask, and then you don't want to give anything in that relationship. Then also, this is what I believe. I believe a 50-50 is a cop-out. 50-50 is a cop-out because what you're saying is we're like roommates. I'm going to give my half, and once I've given my portion and done my share that we agreed on, I've done my part, then you ain't really 100% invested in the relationship or the marriage. You half-assed it. You man, I'm going to say it again. So this 50-50 notion, that means where's the love? Where's the love at? See, the thing is, if I want to take care of my family, my wife, or the woman that I'm with, it's because I do it out of love. I don't do it because of a contractual agreement. Don't even be in a marriage. Don't be in a relationship. If you go through everything and a part of a relationship in 50-50, say everything is going to be 50-50, you are on the road to destruction within that relationship because you're going to set up these expectations, what you're expecting them to do, and then something's going to happen in just life in general and everything, and then you're going to have your thought process. You're going to be upset. You're going to start to resent the person because you didn't beat your hand. Well, I can't right now, and I thought you was going to hold me down until I'm able to get back. Or you can't right now. So now I'm like, man, this ain't the bargain that I agreed to. This ain't I didn't agree to this. I see that you're going through this right now and everything, but you said 50-50. And you can't meet those expectations. I got to get out of here. I'm bouncing. And so it doesn't pertain to every aspect. Like 50-50, I don't know what aspect of 50-50 pertains to any relationship. I just don't believe it. I believe that we come to the table when we both give our all into this relationship, and then we set roles, and then we let each other know what we expect out of one another to continue to make this relationship thrive. But if you say let's go half or everything, I don't feel like I'm in a relationship. I just don't think it's a relationship. So I can go deeper and deeper on it. But again, 50-50, I don't think it should exist. 50-50, you cannot go 50-50 in all aspects of the relationship. In finances, in relationships, unless two people are making the same amount of money, it's still hard to kind of split down the middle of being 50-50. I pay this, you pay this. What happens if I lose my job? You gonna leave me because we don't go 50-50 no more? What happens if I become mentally depressed or something? You gonna leave me? And you're gonna be like, this ain't what I signed up for? So let's throw out the 50-50 notion. And let's say, hey, I'm gonna put 100, I'm gonna put all that I can into this relationship as you put all that you can into this relationship. Let's continue to build. Let's continue to grow. Let's continue to connect together and love one another and care, concern, and just ultimately, love. I don't want to be in a relationship that's 50-50. And if it is, I'm out. So that goes on the question of the day. In the closing, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here because I gotta go to basketball practice. So we got a game next Tuesday. We needed this much needed break anyway at Fayetteville Tech. So closing remarks: be open to new things and ideas. Don't allow your closed-mindedness to new situations. Don't be closed-minded to new things because you would never experience those things or you're not used to that. Sometimes those new things can be a benefit to you. All right. So open your mind, open up your perspectives, and be willing to change. Change is good. All right. Until next time, I'm gonna see y'all Monday. Monday, James Dale Merchant will be back on the show. So, hey, I hope to see each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the YouTube channel, double click, subscription, Facebook, share it, and all that good stuff, man. I'm going to go ahead and give me some more medicine, man. I'm out of here. MRK, baby, I dream big. This is Real Talk with MRK. This is Coffee in the Morning, baby, and I'm out.